All right, everyone. How are you doing? Kitsap County, it is 3 p.m. in Kitsap County. It is 64 degrees. It was 80 yesterday and 80 the day before. We have had a precipitous drop in temperature, but that's okay though. We'll take it just as long as there's no rain. But unfortunately, fall is nigh and winter is coming for all you Game of Thrones fans out there. Is what it is. So get ready to buckle in for the winter time. But you know what time it is? The first show of the month is the Kitsap Regional Library, and we love it. And we have our own Priyachari coming with us today. Thank you for that, Rob. So let's go ahead and bring her on. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I wish I had like a round of applause to welcome me into every room. That would be so motivating. Good stuff.
It is kind of uplifting to kind of come in and everyone smile. So whenever I bring them on with the applause, they can't help but to smile. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So how are you doing?
I'm good. Like you said, it is getting chillier and I'm very much a warm weather person. So this was the first day in a while that I've intentionally put on my librarian cardigan, which usually is just for show. But no, it's always a nice transition into the fall because at the library we tend to shift gears a teensy bit. Like coming out of a really active summer, we now buckle down and try to help people focus on what they're learning, whether they're just starting school or they want to, delve into something that'll help them with their work, a new interest, what have you. So it always feels like there's a real transition to each different season. I'm excited for the fall.
So let me ask you, what is your favorite season?
Oh, summer for sure. I am personally a summer warm weather person, but I understand this isn't quite the region for that. And that's okay.
Yeah,
What
some
about
of
you?
us tend to complain when it gets too hot. I love fall. I love winter. I don't like the snow. I don't like when it's bitter cold, but I do like the layers. I love when the colors change. You got Thanksgiving, you've got Christmas and New Year's, and just a really festive time toward the end of the year. So definitely my favorite for sure.
Cool.
And Halloween is fun too.
Yeah, Halloween's fun.
Yeah, I have no complaints. So why don't we jump in? Hey, what's new in the world of KRL?
Yeah, so I'll start off as always by sharing that our newest Inspire catalog is at all of our library locations. You might find it out and about in the community, and we have it on our website as well. So this is for October, and it's got all of the cool, fun, interesting, weird, exciting events going on across all of our locations at KRL. And as always, if you ever need to get in touch with any of our locations, we have the map and all the contact info on the back of it. But I'm just going to pull out a couple really interesting Inspire events going on this month. And since we're in Bremerton, I'll focus on Bremerton. But please know that if you are anywhere in the county, you can attend any Kitsap Regional Library event. You don't have to live in that place to go there. You don't even need to have a library card. So please do feel free to participate in any of these programs. The first Thursday of every month is Story Night, which happens at the Cloverleaf Bar and Grill in East Bremerton. I attend it. It is a whole bunch of fun. Basically, it's 5-minute stories. Anyone can tell a story. You don't have to be a great storyteller. You just have to have a story to tell. And there's a different theme every month. This month's theme is shipped, like I shipped a package, or I shipped my two friends together and now they're dating. Multiple themes to that word.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there might be a bit of an age divide into how people interpret that phrase, but regardless, if you got a story that relates to the word shipped, please come tell it, or at the very least, just come listen, because it's fun to hear your friends and neighbors tell their stories. So that is on Thursday the 6th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Cloverleaf Bar and Grill. This Friday at the downtown branch, we've got a couple things going on, and I will note the first one I'll tell you, it's actually a bit of a misprint in the Inspire. So Friday the 7th, not Thursday the 7th, because there is no Thursday the 7th. Friday the 7th, we have two programs going on, one for kids and families and one for adults, teens and adults, grown-ups, and they're back to back. So we're leaning into spooky season, Halloween month. So this Friday during Bremerton's First Friday Art Walk, we're going to have a storytelling program From 6 to 7 p.m. is spooky stories, and those are gently scary stories read aloud to kiddos. I believe it's
You say
grades 4 through 8.
gently scary stories?
Gently scary for kids and families. Sort of grades 4 through 8, so like upper elementary, middle school kids. And we'll have a local author visiting named Ash Van Otterloo, who also writes kind of
Oh,
magic, witchcraft, gently scary stories.
nice. So we're talking about like Goosebumps, things like this, and kind of
Yeah.
that range. Okay.
Yeah. So that will be from 6 to 7 for kids and families, and then from 7 to 8 for people who want a little bit more of a scare. So I'm going to go ahead and call it the grown-ups one, but teens and adults are welcome to join. And that one is called Tales of Terror.
Uh-huh.
Similar concept where we're going to read a few scary stories out loud. But with this one, we know a lot of our teens and adults are really big readers, and especially horror readers. So we want to hear what kind of horror writing you like to read and why. So it will be part scary story read aloud, part share your favorite scary stories that you have read, so that we all get some good recommendations from each other.
Well, if it's for adults, Tales of Terror, I think of, Tales of Taxes, right? That sounds like something scary for adults. It's like a
That is
nightmare.
very
"Hey, guys,
frightening.
we're gonna talk about taxes."
If you want to come share about your worst tax story, go right ahead. I am personally interested in hearing people's recommendations for scary short stories to read because I don't like scary stories.
Oh,
And so if
really?
someone recommends me a collection and says, hey, this is scary, but not like wake up in the middle of the night scary. This is
Mhm.
scary, like good for the season and you'll be okay. So that type of thing, where share something that you've read that spooked you a little bit. But it is a nice community-centered way to get a good scare with each other.
Yeah.
So that is this Friday, the 7th, from 6 to 8, first hour for kids and families, second hour for anyone grown up who just wants to have something a little bit scarier. So that is this week. What do we have coming up next week? We've got on the 21st of October, Friday the 21st, we've got Enlighten Kitsap Community Forum. That happens every month on the third Friday of the month. It's virtual this month, and we're going to learn about brain health from someone from the Alzheimer's Association. Which is really, just like activities, things that you can do to keep your brain healthy as you age, sort of challenge it and keep it in tip-top shape. So that is going on the 21st of October. And then we've got our regular book groups at Sylvan Way and downtown Bremerton every month. Oh, thank you, Marwan. Yes. How to Optimize Brain Health on the 21st with Maggie Christofferson from the Alzheimer's Association. Yeah. And this month is virtual. Next month will be in person, and we're trying to see if we can have it be hybrid as well. But it sort of bounces back and forth. So for up-to-date information on this program specifically, you can either check our website, like Marwan is showing now, or you can go to the Enlighten Kitsap website, because it's a community group, Enlighten, that leads it, and the library just attends to support.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's sort of general interest lectures, and they also record them and put them on their website. So if you ever miss one, but you really wanted to hear the topic, you can always go to the Enlighten Kitsap website and watch the recording there. Last month's was Take a Hike Through the Solar System with a NASA solar system ambassador. And they sort of gave us a little guided tour of what is out there. It was fascinating. Really, really cool.
Yeah, I would have liked that one.
Yeah. And I tell you, I love outer space and sci-fi, but it scares me a little bit to think about it too much because it's just so much empty space out there. So helpful to have someone walk you through it. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't we just crash something into an asteroid to see if we could either destroy it or move it off its path?
I don't know. I remember hearing the news story that we did crash something intentionally. I think it was for research purposes, but I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, that sounds a little too close to sci-fi there.
I don't think it was a narrowly avoiding Armageddon type of thing. Probably would have
No,
been
just
more
to see if we could do it, right?
just in case. Yeah.
Well, right. So, if it's just in case, if we're planning for that, is there something further out there? So, yeah, I wish I had made that one. That would have been exciting.
It's
Lots
good
of
to be
questions.
prepared.
Lots.
I'll have to look up the exact purpose of that asteroid crash mission they have done recently. But yeah, if you're interested in that previous program with Enlighten, I believe they should have it recorded on their website, so you can watch it in full, which is really cool. Awesome. Yeah, it's really neat. The book groups we have coming up in Bremerton, again, you can attend any book group you'd like, even if you're not in that part of the county. And several of them are virtual, so you don't even have to leave home for that. We have a few at the Sylvan Way Library. There's their general book group that's reading The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. That one is this Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., and it is both virtual and in person. We have the Sylvan Way Nonfiction book group, which meets on Tuesday, October 18th from 10 to 11 a.m., and that is virtual and in person also. And they're reading A Little Devil in America, Notes in Praise of Black Performance by Hanif Abdurraqib. That one is their nonfiction book group. We also have the Downtown Bremerton book group here in Downtown Bremerton. That's on Monday, the 24th from 5 to 6 p.m., and that is both virtual and in person as well. So you get to choose how you'd like to participate. And there's no set book for this month. We just have a general theme, which is murder or magic. Read a murder mystery or a book about magic, since we're in Halloween month and want to keep things spooky. And lastly,
the themes to kind of, get you into maybe a genre that you don't typically read.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty awesome. It's like, I don't know what to read, but other people are going to have recommendations or read it together. It's like, it's a great way to explore.
Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes, it's a joy to sit around and talk about the same book because everyone's got different feelings about it. But every so often you want to shake things up and say like, all right, we read this. Let's see what else we're reading. And of course, if there's ever anyone who wants to attend but doesn't know where to start finding a book that fits the theme, please do feel free to ask library staff. We're more than happy to make a recommendation for you that fits your purposes also. Like I said, I don't like reading super scary things, but I'll happily read a murder mystery as long as it's not too psychologically terrifying. So that's, knowing your criteria is something that helps you get more involved and invested in a book discussion.
Like poltergeist exorcisms, I'm gonna stay away from stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
It's fun, but it's scary. It's like, oh man.
Yeah. But that's sort of the beauty of being able to have those conversations about what you like and why you like it, or what you don't like and why you don't like it. Because then, it's like I said, I don't like super scary things, but I will read the goriest murder mystery as long as there's no serial killers in it. So that's my criteria. So everyone's got something like that, where they're like, I won't touch this.
Gory, as long as it doesn't become serial, it's all right. One, okay.
I don't know why.
You got a problem.
Yeah, that's just
we got to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah, or some folks are like, hey, I love supernatural stories, but I don't like fantasy. Where I'll read about Bigfoot or Yetis all day long, but I don't want to read about fairies or witchcraft. And there's different. It's your own preferences. Who are we to judge? Okay, and then the last book group in Bremerton is Sylvan Way's bestseller book group. That is on the 24th as well, same day as downtown, but just 6:30 to 7:30. That one is virtual only, and they're reading All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. So you've got 4 opportunities to attend book groups in Bremerton alone, and then most other branches have their own book groups as well. So if anyone is ever interested in talking about books in a group together, this is the place for that. A few other programs I want to point out at downtown specifically. We have 2 storytime opportunities if you have kiddos in your lives. One of them is just the general storytime in the park. So I'm trying to find the specific location for that. It's Evergreen Park, and that happens every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. And that is, for just younger school age kiddos. It's good fun. It's outdoors, as long as it's not too cold and rainy.
So if the weather does turn, is it just moved into the library?
It's at Evergreen Park, so it's under one of those shelters, like the picnic shelters. Oh, okay. So there is coverage there. If it's torrential downpour, we're going to cancel it. But yeah, so if the weather is a little iffy and you're not sure if we're going to do it, please feel free to call the branch or check our website, and we'll update the webpage that way. Nice. But like to be outside when we can. And then we have a new storytime opportunity specifically for babies. So if you have a baby who's infant through 18 months old, This story time is geared directly toward them. It's a little bit more, full body movement, early literacy, that type of thing. And that is every Thursday at 1 p.m. So if you have really little ones who maybe, might feel better sitting on a lap rather than standing up and moving around, baby story time is definitely the way to go. So those are a few of the programs at the downtown branch. Yes, baby story time. There we go.
Might help for you to interact with some adults for a little bit of time too. So all the baby talk might be nice to say hi. Good to
It's
talk to
really
you.
cute. It's just really cute to watch too. Like it's very, very sweet. We also have one more in downtown for kids. It's pumpkin painting for
Ooh,
kids grades K through 5. Just wear something that can get a little bit messy. Just your typical fall pumpkin painting. So you could put it out on your porch so all of the trick-or-treaters can enjoy it. So that's for kids and families K through 5. That's Saturday, October 15th, 10:30 a.m. That's going to be really fun. I'm excited to see what little artworks our youth create.
yeah, that one should be a lot of fun. I'm gonna pull that one up.
Yeah, I think attendance is limited to the first 25 participants. There we go. Because just we don't have a ton of space.
So
But also
should
25
people
kiddos in
call
the same
in and
room
sign up?
gets. What was that?
People call and sign up.
So registration is not required. It's just first come, first serve.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
feel free to show up. If you want to show up even a little bit early, we open at 10 a.m. that morning. So you're welcome to come a little bit early and make sure that you get a spot. But for kids and families, unaffiliated
That's a
adults
great
might have to
idea.
come hang out upstairs with me.
I'm sure they won't be angry. Like, oh, thank you for that.
This one's just for the kiddos.
Mhm.
So those are the programs that we have going on. And then I wanted to also highlight just very briefly our October service spotlight, I guess, which you can see on the front is our family history resources. And I can actually share screen and show a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so at KRL, we have access to, are you seeing my window?
Yes.
Cool. All right. So this is just our homepage here. We have access to a few genealogical research databases. And so you'll see in our little carousel here, it'll go through a few of them. BrainFuse is just general research, homework and test prep help, which is really, really cool. But I'm going to skip through. We've got Hispanic Heritage Month highlight here. We've got Inspire Light. There we go. Heritage Quest is one of our resources. Ancestry.com might be one that you all are more familiar with. But I will show you how to access those. You get free access with your library card, which is really cool.
Wow.
Because sometimes these services, sometimes are paid services if you were to access just on your own. But to jump into those, you'll go to our top menu bar here and hover over research. And then we're just going to go down to genealogy. Or you can click into research itself and just go. They're all in alphabetical order. Genealogy pulls all of the related ones together. And so here are databases that deal with all things family history research. And so some might sound familiar, like Heritage Quest, Family Search, Ancestry. Fold3 is a newer one that we have access to. It's a product of Ancestry.com, but it's specific for military history. So if you've got family members who are service members, or just want to dig into that a little bit further, Fold3 is specific to military history. We also have a couple local resources like the Bainbridge Island Genealogical Society that sort of pulls out to their informational page, and the Puget Sound Genealogical Society, which actually has a home base at the Sylvan Way Library itself. So if you ever want to do any in-person research specific to Puget Sound or local locations, PSGS is a really great resource, and they're based at Sylvan Way. So they're a fantastic resource if you need some help in person. But I just want to demonstrate a couple of these. You'll see in red text if there are any limitations to accessing these. So for instance, Family Search has just a few parts of records that are only available at Sylvan Way. So you have to be at that physical location. That's just a consideration of the contract that we have with them. Similar to Ancestry as well, but this one is available within the library. So that means any library location. So if you are on one of our public computers, you are able to get in, no problem. If you're trying at home, I believe it won't let you. But as long as you come in through our website, so click on this link here from our website, it will get you in, and I'll show you what that looks like. Let's go to Ancestry. All
So, Bree,
right.
let me ask you a question while you're pulling that up.
Mm-hmm.
If we can come in and access Ancestry,
Mm-hmm.
do we need to pay for the and send that off, and then we just have access to the database after?
Okay. So Ancestry that we're looking at right now, these are purely online databases that pull from public records like census, birth records, death records, things like that. I think you're thinking 23andMe. That is another service that is the DNA testing one. So that's the one where you order a kit, you swab your cheeks or what have you, you send it back, and then it does your DNA testing. I don't know offhand if they tie into Ancestry where you can sort of connect who your DNA is connected with to the
Yeah, let
Ancestry
me.
database itself. I think they might have their own thing going. But I'm happy to look into that for you. That's completely separate though, and we don't offer 23andMe kits, and we definitely don't want people swabbing their cheeks inside of our
Well,
Sorry
let
about
me show you mine just so you can kind of see. So
that. Oh, let
mine
me stop sharing here.
it
Okay.
is Ancestry. Let me see if that'll zoom in there. And so I
Oh.
actually sent the swab in because I'm adopted,
Mhm.
as you know, we had
Mhm.
the information on there, and
Mhm.
then it comes back, and then it
Wow.
shows you. Let me see if I can get my camera to zoom in on there.
Yeah, I see there's an outline of a map on there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really neat.
That just kind of gives you all that information there. Sorry, guys, it's not coming in really great. But then after that, you can go and you can see like, the different matches of,
Mhm.
who's related to you by cousin and stuff. So I'm wondering if you do the swab piece, then could we come in and then get the rest from you guys?
I
You
assume
know,
so. So
once
I'm
we have
just
the
doing a quick
information.
yeah, I'm doing a quick search while you're showing me that. I didn't know that Ancestry, like the company, has their own DNA testing arm. Interesting. Oh my gosh, I learn something new every day. Okay, so yeah, the only one I was familiar with was 23andMe, but it looks like Ancestry has a similar product that ties right into their platform. That's fantastic. Um, yeah, I mean, if you don't have an ancestry.com account, this is sort of what the library account is for. And I'll show one more time just to demonstrate what
Yeah,
that
jump
looks
back in there. I just wanted to
Oh yeah, no
show
worries.
that.
So the way you can tell that you're in the KRL subscription one is that up top right hand corner it will say Kitsap Regional Library as the like account name. I'm assuming if you have your like are purchasing that DNA testing kit, it might require you to make an account. So I
Mm.
don't know offhand if you would need to uh, like pay for that version versus regardless. I won't talk about stuff I don't know about. You are absolutely welcome to come into the library and access Ancestry for free on our side. It will log you in as Kitsap Regional Library, but if you want some help, if you want to test it out, if you want to pop in sometime, Marlon, let me know.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that'd be great. Then we can kind of share back out with folks.
yeah, yeah, because I know that lots of folks make their own ancestry accounts so they can like track their progress and save materials to their account. The
Oh,
KRL account is just so folks don't have to pay for their own accounts or hit any limitations like that.
nice.
But I can see how that might be a roadblock if you do want to save all of your progress and all that. So I'll leave it at if you're ever interested in digging deeper into Ancestry and that membership, please do ask us for support or ask questions. We'll learn along with you. Um, but for now, this Ancestry access is just if you haven't used it before, or if you don't want to pay for an account, or you even don't, never even jumped in the first place. This is a free way to do so. Get to it through our website, and then you can start whatever search you feel like you need to be doing. And there's a lot here. I'll tell you, there's a lot here. So if you're trying to do
Bria, have you
some,
tried it?
I have, yeah.
Really?
It's interesting especially if you know like when your family came, like if your family immigrated to the U.S. when they came. Um, and just like tracking like changes in name spellings and when family members were born and moved out and all that type of stuff. But the other thing to consider, and this is a big roadblock for lots of folks who haven't done genealogical research before, is that specifically for census records, which
Mm.
is a huge portion of this research we're doing, not all of them are available online. So there is a limit, I believe it's 72 years
Okay.
back from today. Those records are locked. And that's just for, people are probably still alive
Mm-hmm.
and don't want to have super detailed information that can be used to invade people's privacy. So you see how on the screen here it says welcome to the 1950 US Census. 1950 is the year that was unlocked this year.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
yeah, so starting this year you can access census records from 1950, which is huge because a lot of stuff was happening in 1950. But
Mm-hmm.
and then previous to that, all the years before that are available. So it's a cool way to look up, who was living in your house or your location if your building still existed at that point in 1935, or what were your grandparents up to if you knew where they were, that type of thing. So it's a really cool resource. I won't get into the specifics of how to search because it's pretty complicated, but
Mm-hmm.
it's as complicated as you want it to be. How about that? But in the general search, it's as easy as a name, where they might have lived, search. Or you can add family members, you can add any keywords if you knew what they did for a living. And then on the right here, you can search by collection. So if you're looking, for instance, for death records or obituaries, this line right here might be a good place to check. If you know that someone came over from the UK, they have access to the UK census as well. Whole bunch of different records here. A lot of it is pretty complicated, so please do feel free to ask for help if you're in the library trying to access this. I'll go back to our database real quick. Heritage Quest and Family Search look kind of similar, so they'll ask for the same types of information like names, locations, years. So it looks pretty similar. I believe they actually share branding for these guys. And then Family Search is somewhat similar, but I believe it is connected to the Church of Latter-day Saints. So there's going to be a whole lot of family tree related information, like helping you build up your family tree. But so it's one of the main products is sort of family research specifically, not just like community research. But again, if you have any questions or need any guidance with that, we are more than happy to help walk you through it.
Oh, that seems really exciting. I'll tell you what, I'm a little too scared to do it right now. So,
Sure.
I did the swab because, like I said, I'm adopted, so I don't know my birth parents or anything
Mm-hmm.
beyond. And so, have a family medical history. So, that was kind of doing it for my oldest daughter. But
Mm-hmm.
seeing the list of second and third cousins, like, oh, do I contact these people? Like, oh, this feels so weird. So I haven't
Mm-hmm.
gone down that road and opened up that box of worms yet, but it might be
Yes.
nice to kind of just do a little research just for my own edification and maybe, for my kids. So I might come
Good.
down and kind of, take you up on that. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be limited to family. Also, like if you are just curious, like, hey, who like 100 years ago was born on my birthday where I'm living now, like that's kind of a fun thing, or any type of criteria that you can think of. It's a really nice connection to past generations, and a cool way also to see how we keep records, because sometimes like if someone's handwriting was a little bit messy and an A gets transcribed as an E, that means that that person may not be able to be found in online searches for like years until someone gets back to the print thing and realizes, oh, that was an A. Little
I
things
feel
like
like
that,
you're calling me out right now on my handwriting. So.
there's sort of like a joke in like archival research circles where it's like, man, those guys in Ellis Island just had really terrible handwriting because all these processing all these immigrants coming through, and these names that are just not traditional American names are getting misspelled. But in doing some research and some reading, I found that it's not necessarily bad handwriting. A lot of the times it is, but a lot of folks when they were coming through, intentionally changed their names to make it a little bit easier to assimilate or to have their name, shifting from different written systems like Cyrillic maybe to the alphabet that we use. So it's really fascinating to see how names change, how family histories have grown over generations. Would highly recommend, if you got some time, just to mess around with all of our genealogical resources, and we're happy to help. Happy to help if you'd like to.
I wonder if they retroactively kind of go back and if they can match, okay, this person came through, the name was not spelled how we have it in the database, so there's some kind of an addendum, so you can start to kind of create this new list of, okay, this is who's there. We're about 80% accurate. Now we've got 20% that we need to try to figure out.
That is a really interesting question. I don't know the answer to that. I am going to try to pull something up real quick here, though, just as an example. Let's see.
I can see how the library would be a lot of fun. I mean, there's so many worlds that are open to you.
Oh, it's super fun. Yeah. I am trying to pull something up. So one of my grandpas lived in Philadelphia. And I was just trying to find like a thing that will show how messy this can look sometimes. Let me give an example. And I don't even think this is the right guy. I just pulled it up like 10 seconds ago, really quickly. All right. So I searched for my grandpa, who is Larry Cherry. He lived in Philadelphia, but I was looking for a census record. So I'm just pulling up the first guy. I don't think this is the right guy, but I want you to see what a federal census record looked like in 1950. So they were all handwritten.
Oh, wow.
And this writing is not neat. And they use all sorts of abbreviations. Now, the cool thing about Ancestry is that it makes it really easy to find exactly who you're looking for on that page. So that highlighted line there is going to be the guy I'm looking for. However, you can, the little orange line follows, so you can sort of track it across, and you can follow the little descriptor categories at the top to sort of see like name, relationship, race, gender, age. But look at this handwriting.
Wow.
I'm not great with deciphering cursive, so I can't imagine how long it must have taken someone to transcribe this.
But you know what? To me, that handwriting is actually pretty good. My own.
Yeah, like I'm better with these ones up here, but this is just an example. This is 1950, so handwriting it hopefully was a little bit easier to decipher than earlier. But just an example, you can see actually the primary documents of like what did a census form look like in 1950. It's pretty cool. So
that is cool.
Just one sample, but I'm more than happy to walk through your family history journey with you. All of our staff are just super stoked to have these resources at our disposal.
Again, the library has a lot of awesome stuff going on, and man, it's like something new every single time we talk. So we just kind of go down different rabbit holes, and it's like, all right, this is going on this month, which is something totally different than last month. Yeah, just really awesome. No reason to be bored in Kitsap County for sure.
We learn something new every day. I'm so excited to help people, go on their learning journeys, and then I get to jump to a next one and learn about that and that and that. It's the coolest job in the world.
I love it. Well, do you have any other updates, or did we make it through today?
I think that's sort of the main things that we've got going on at the downtown branch. If you need another incentive to come visit us, we are still offering free COVID rapid tests as provided by the Kitsap Public Health District. So if you are, going to take a trip anytime soon, or are planning to go to a large family gathering or something, and you want to just make sure that you're as safe as you can be, feel free to stop by the branch during our open hours. We've got a little bin with a few test kits out in our front entryway, so you don't even really have to come inside the building all the way. Step in the doors, grab one, and leave. And each kit has 2 tests in it. You're welcome to grab as many as you need. And those are available as long as we're getting them from Kitsap Public Health District. We're really grateful for them providing those. And then inside our branch, we've always got some like interesting book displays up. that hopefully will just spark conversations. So if you are interested, just stop by, just take a walk around and ask us what's going on. We're more than happy to find something interesting for you, or just, talk about something cool. We're always down for it.
Well, there's two things that I saw on there. I'm gonna pull
Mhm.
this up.
Yeah.
It is National Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes. Yeah. So that is a one of several heritage months that we try to highlight in our collection, because of just the diversity of Kitsap County. We have so many folks of Hispanic heritage who live are our neighbors, and we want to make sure that their stories are being highlighted in our collection, and also just expand the materials available that highlight different histories, different authors, different voices. So that link up there is sort of a link to curated reading lists that our librarian selectors have put together for different age groups. And then in several of our branches, downtown included, we have book displays up that are highlighting authors of Hispanic heritage, stories about like Latin America, and everything you'll want to know if you want to dig into a different type of story. If you are not of Hispanic heritage, if you are, hopefully you'll see something that reflects your own experience and interests. But that runs September 15th through October 15th. So we'll have ours up for the next couple weeks as well.
Nice, nice. So you could come in and say, hey, I'd like to have um, a science fiction Hispanic author for this particular age group. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And I will say, I believe on the website, I'm just going to double check the reading lists that are available on the front page there. Those are put together by our librarian selectors who are based at our Sylvan Way location, but they've got selections for kids, teens, adults, fiction, nonfiction, multimedia. They also put together the general interest one, like horror arrivals and new to the library collection. They're a really smart bunch, and we're grateful to have them supporting our branch operations.
Nice. Well, the last one
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on, I'm big on education, and I saw this pop up on the Use Brain Fuse live tutoring
Yes.
daily. Can you talk about
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, so the BrainFuse database is commonly, we refer to it as like homework help, because for a lot of kiddos, it is really useful for that live tutoring. But they also have, yeah, so that's the area where you need to have a library card for it.
I don't
Um,
remember that number.
that's okay. I can pull it up. I know my
Must be
number.
in my keychain. If you put it in the
That's
chat, I'll paste
okay.
it in there.
Okay, so let me share my screen right quick, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So once you're in, you click on it from our database, from our research database. So just click into research, and it's alphabetically organized. So you go down to Brain Fuse, click in there. It'll ask you to sign in with your library card number. I already have, so this is what it looks like once you're in. So there are resources where you can have your written thing, whether that's like a resume, a cover letter, an essay, what have you, edited by live online tutors. That's the
Wow.
writing lab here. We
Wow.
have tutoring. Yeah, it's pretty. Or online editors. We've got tutoring available for a variety of topics. Skill Surfer is little like videos and flashcards and things that can help you study on a variety of skills. Language Lab is good for language learners, but it's sort of online focused. So if you're comfortable using a chat function, it'll be similar to that. We've got chess tutoring, which is kind of neat. Under the study section, let's go into Leap. Let's see what's available here. It's going to ask me to log in again. I'm not going to do that. Okay. It'll take too much time. It's a place where you can sort of select which test you're studying for. So if you're studying for like the ACT or the GMAT or something, you can select that, and it'll give you lesson plans,
Oh, nice.
practice tests, tutoring, things like that. Flashbulb
Would
looks
the
like it's.
ASVAB would the ASVAB be on there too?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, let me stop sharing for a second, and then I'm going to try to sign in.
I
You're
will always
reminding me.
come up with questions. Right in there? That's fantastic. I'm so glad I saw the scroller on that before we
Yeah,
ended.
I
I was
should
like,
have brought
"Oh,
that
what's
up
this?"
earlier. So it's not letting me sign in. I'll have to grab my staff card. It's in the next room over. Brain Fuse is really, really useful. One element I'll pull out really quickly and let me share again is the section that says adult learners. And so if you're on the homepage here, it's going to be this adult learners section right in the middle. Click on that. And that is less like general homework help and more focused learning assistance. So if you're getting your GED, if you're prepping to be a US citizen, if you need help with things related to applying for a job, you're going to find resources specifically for adult learning, adult literacy, which is really, really neat. We like to promote this as well as we can. If people are comfortable using a computer, that's the thing. You need to be okay, like understanding how to log in, using a keyboard, using a mouse. One additional resource that is pretty good similarly, I'm going to just go back to our website here under research. I'm going to go down to, give me a second. Here we go, Peterson's. We added a new one, so it shifted all the letters down. Gail presents Peterson's Test and Career Prep. Slightly similar to Brain Fuse, but it's more so for very focused test prep like GED. I believe they have ASVAB. I think they might have SAT as well, but lots of different tests available. Let's look at vocational test prep here. Yeah, so under vocational test prep, for instance, you've got like test to enter the foreign service. Yeah. So they'll try to pull together the different requirements for entering these professions and help provide, the types of resources you need.
Farmer, certified dental assistant, surgical tech. Wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. We don't get a ton of questions about those specifically, but when we do, it's like, oh my gosh, I have the exact thing for you. Yeah, and so these are more so for adult learners, as an 18 and up, very, very focused prep tools, like, you're entering a profession, but combined with Brain Fuse, these are really useful tools to have together. And I won't go into this too deeply because there's a lot there. But if you're ever curious, or if you know anyone who's entering a new profession and needs to take some sort of test to get into it, likely one of these will have resources available to prep for that. And we're happy to get connected with them.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And one of the last things I saw on Brain Fuse before you shut it down was the flashcards. So you can make your own flashcards. That's a great way to learn, or to help your kids, especially if you're not well versed in the subject. You can help make the flashcards, and then you're drilling the kids, while you're driving or whatever the case may be. So, what a great, fantastic resource. Man, yeah, I love it. Every month is something new for sure.
Yeah. And these two specifically are ones that I'm trying to keep front of mind, especially since we're in the fall and folks are, they've started school, or they're, just, supporting someone who is in school, or maybe thinking about longer term goals. It's something that we're really hoping people take advantage of and feel like they can come and ask for help if they need it. Because it's really hard, prepping for a test on your own, especially if you're an adult and don't really have a classroom of people around you also working on that. So this is one way where we can hopefully support you as best that we can.
And it's just extra free resources, outside of, junior high or high school, or, like you said, college prep, or if you're in college. I mean, all these things are here for you. And then, of course, the library has its help with FAFSA, right? They have their FAFSA navigators, and you can call in and get information on that.
Yes. So several of our staff members, I think all of our teen services librarians, and then several adult services librarians as well, myself included, are trained by Graduate Strong, local community organization, to help be FAFSA and WASFA application navigators. So if you have youth in your life who are getting ready to apply for college and need help with that financial aid piece, it can be really, really complicated to do on your own. It's just really intimidating. And so we're trained just to be an extra resource, an extra source of support to help just guide through the application. We can't do it for you, and we don't have any like secret hacks for the application, unfortunately. But we can sit down with you and just make sure that it gets done fully, so that you can get as much financial aid as possible, and hopefully sets you up on the right step. And that's not just for high school students. If there's anyone of any age who's applying who needs some support, we're happy to help.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Please take advantage of those resources. I'll keep trying to remind folks in between our meetings and put that information out there. But there's a lot of help and support out there for you. Please utilize it. Ask questions. Seek because they probably actually do it. That's how awesome the
Mhm.
library is. They probably already do it. So just fantastic. Well, we won't take up any more of your time, Miss Priya. We appreciate you coming on. And
Thank
I love kicking off the month with the library. It just kind of sets the tone for how the rest of
you.
the
Yeah.
month can go, and it always goes very well. So thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming.
It's always so much fun. It's nice to like be excited about something new every month, even if it's not new to me. Hopefully, it's new to someone, and it's just really nice to have this platform. So thank you, Marwan. It's always a
Oh,
pleasure.
it definitely is. All right. So we have all of your information on where to go, where to access. I think of different ways and reasons to access the library. Maybe you've got a procedure coming up and you're going to be down for a few days, and you can get some
Mhm.
reading materials, you can do some online research. Lots of different things that you could do to utilize the library. Also, they have their book delivery. So if you need the books brought to you, you can set that up too. I mean, the library is just doing all kinds of really cool things. We want to thank Kitsap Regional Library. We want to thank our adult librarian, Priya Chari. And for them, I am Marwan Cameron. This is The Conduit. Everyone have a great week, and we'll see you